Hello everyone. Myself Dr. Mittal Shingala. I have 10 PhD in statistics and I am having 14 plus years of teaching experience in college. Uh, as we know that in AP statistics syllabus, we'll cover probability distribution, measurement of center tendency, dispersion, skewness, kurtosis, correlation, regression and so on, right? We'll take one of the part from there, that is correlation. So what is correlation? Let us understand first. From the name it seems that there is two variable involved and we want to check the relationship between two variables. So whenever we want to check the relationship between two variable, at that time we have to go for the correlation. Let us start with the very simple example. For example, price and demand. As we know that price is going to be increasing, then demand will be decreasing for that particular product because there are so many person who cannot afford that particular items because of the increasing of price, and that is why they will switch to the other product. So if price will be increasing, then demand will be decreasing. So if value of the one variable increasing, then the value of the other variable decreasing, then we called it there is a positive correlation between there is a negative correlation between two variables. Let us take one more example, number of vehicles and number of accidents. As we know that number of vehicles is going to be increasing in real life scenario, we can observe that number of accidents is also going to be increasing. So if the value of the one variable increasing, then the value of other variable will also be increasing. Then we can say that there is a positive correlation between two variable. We can also take one more example, like number of hours student teaching and the exam score they are getting. Of course we know that there is also a positive correlation. As number of hours we can increasing for the study, definitely it will affect on our marks, and that's why there is a positive correlation between them also. Now if we think that, let us take two variable like number of uh, cups of teas we are consuming and level of intelligence we have. So if you can observe that in these two variable, there is not any cause effect relationship. What is the meaning of cause effect relationship? Value of the one variable increase, then if it affects on the other variable, then only we can say that there is a cause effect relationship. But in these two variable, we can't see any cause effect relation. So whenever there is not any cause effect relationship available, at that time we cannot go for the correlation, that is Fourier's correlation, right? So we should keep in mind that also, that we can calculate correlation only there is a cause effect relationship between two variables. Now here that's why I mentioned that correlation is measure of the linear relationship, and there should be a linear relationship between should be there. If there is a non-linear relation, then also correlation may not be helpful. That's why whenever we are taking two variable, and if you are getting your correlation is zero, does not mean that there is no any relationship between two variable, but we will say that there is no linear relationship between two variables. And the value of r, so the correlation coefficient is denoted by r, and what it measure, it explain which are the nature, that is whether there is a positive or negative relation, and how many relation between that two particular variable. Second thing you should know that now how can we calculate this correlation? There are three methods available. First is scatter diagram method. This that will give you a diagrammatical representation only. Second one is Carl Pearson's coefficient method. Generally, we can use this method whenever we have an actual observation in your data set. Or second thing, we can say that normality should be there. Then only we can use Carl Pearson coefficient method. Then the third name is Spearman rank correlation. Whenever we have a given ranking data instead of observation, or when we can say that our data does not follow normal distribution, at that time also we have to go for the Spearman rank correlation. Now, whenever we are using Carl Pearson or Spearman, definitely our first step will be we will check by the scatter diagram relation whether there is a linear relationship or not. Because if the relationship will not be linear, then we cannot go for the correlation. So how can we define based on the scatter diagram that whether there is a linear relation or not? Let me show you one diagram for that. See here you can see four diagrams, different diagrams are there. If you observe first one, here, now as I told you that two variables always involved, one on the x-axis and second will be on the y-axis. If you are putting all the observation into that particular diagram, and if it seems that all the observations you can observe from the left to right upward side, then we will say that there is a positive linear relation. If you can found such pattern like all observations from left to right downward side, then we say that there is a negative linear relation. If you can see like third diagram, here you can observe that all the points are going into the upward then downwards. So you can't say that that's a linear relation, because what when we say that there is linear relation, either you can found upward pattern or either you can found downward pattern. So if you can see third diagram, it will go upward then again it will on the downward. So here non-linear relation should be there. So in such kind of diagram we cannot use R, that is Carl Pearson, or scattered or Spearman rank correlation method. And if you observe fourth, here you don't find any kind of pattern. That means it indicates that there is no any linear relation between two variables. Now, what is the difference between that diagrams and this diagram? Here also you can observe from the first diagram, all the points will be on the left to right upward. But if you can see, you can observe that all the points in a single line only. That means if all the points if you are putting in a single line, then you can say that there is a perfect positive correlation. And if you seems all the observations from left to right downward, there is a perfect negative linear relationship. And if you observe third one, it seems that the values are going downward, then it's upward. So it is a that should be a non-linear relationship between this. Right? So that's it for today. Thank you.